Hey guys, Primal Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at Architects, When We Were Young. This is a brand new song. They've been out for less than a week anyway. Keen to get into it. I've always liked these guys from what I've seen. Again, this whole genre is pretty new to me, but the little bits of cherry-picked Architects that I've come across I've really liked, and the thing that seems to distinguish them for me is they have this amazing ability to, whatever they're doing, they always have this way of pulling it back into a really anthemic chorus, which isn't a necessity with metalcore, but these guys, at least in recent years, the stuff I've sort of been exposed to with Sam Carter, it always seems to be a bit of a hallmark for them to have just a fist-pumping chorus, you know, and I appreciate that. As someone with a background in just general songwriting, that's always the secret, right? But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they've gone with this one. You know, when bands like this have had such a vast catalogue, always there's going to be hits and misses as far as the community goes. There's always going to be people who like certain albums and not other albums and things like that. But yeah, it's always, whenever new material comes out, it's always like, is this going to be the one? Is this going to be the one that takes them down, you know? But yeah, anyway, let's just have a listen. Yeah, I don't know what else to add. I haven't really got any predictions for this one. I just hope it rocks. It's the bottom line. So let's jump right in. Cool. Look at that swagger. Oh, I like that. Come on. There it is. Yep. Yeah, wow, okay. So, there's a lot to talk about already. First of all, I love the video clip. It's really cool. It's one of those clips it's super innovative and original, but really basic. It's like, as someone who's made music videos and stuff before, it appears to be relatively financially like not as expensive, but the uniqueness of the character of it makes it seem like you don't think about that. Like it's clearly something that hasn't cost them $100,000. You know what I mean? But it's still super effective. And the reason it works with this song is this song feels kind of raw and like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? It just sounds raw. Like, it's got sort of like a punchiness to it that sounds like a band that's hungry. It doesn't sound like a band that has released a whole bunch of albums and they're a little tired. You know what I mean? This seems kind of new and fresh and all that sort of stuff. And it seems like the music video that a band that's just coming up and really hungry would come up with, because they can't afford to shoot in some giant warehouse sort of thing, or, you know, some ridiculous location with a whole bunch of things and catering and all that sort of nonsense that costs money. You know, when you have limited resources, you tend to come up with really creative ways of using your resources. That's what this feels like. And I enjoy that, because to me, I mean, Architects haven't been around that long for me personally, but for everyone else, they've just really stood the test of time. And this to me sounds like I'm watching their first ever music video, because the song sounds punchy and hungry and like, yeah, it's just got like that sort of attitude and energy that seems to just become more and more lackluster as bands get older, right? And then it's also got this video clip that's sort of simple but effective, and you know, it's something you would talk about. Like it's like you see the clip, it's pretty cool, you know, like but yeah, I kind of dig it. I love how Sam is subtly changing direction so that he's always facing the camera, which is kind of neat. But let's talk about the song. It's that part in the intro, and I guess throughout the riff, it's sort of that bop bop where you saw him stomping through it. That's a lot of fun. It's just this cool, simple kind of riff that just makes you want to learn how to play it. You know what I mean? And it's super punchy. I really dig that. Let's jump back a little bit. The other thing I noticed too is the verses are incredibly short. It just wants to get back to that chorus. Like, check it out. We'll go back to when Sam starts singing. Hang on. First of all, let's get that riff. So simple, right? It's that bop, bop, bop. It's 8 bars straight into a chorus. That's cool. It's like a post-chorus bit. I didn't catch that the first time. Eight bars.
Something in your eye. Did you follow or you just on a high? Everybody's so afraid they could die, but they never once said, thank God we're alive. Oh. Is there something in your eye? Did you follow or you just on a high? Everybody's so afraid they could die.
You gotta help me out here, man. Do these guys supplement with synths? It sounds like there's a synth going through there. I'm trying to see if anyone might be playing a synth type sound on their guitar, but it's hard to tell with video clips because you're always miming, right? So I noticed this guy. I was gonna say the guy wearing all black. The guy looks like he's got an LTD guitar just there in frame. It seemed like he was doing some pick notes while the other guy was playing rhythm. So it could very well be like a highly affected guitar sound where he's just playing like do 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 sort of notes or whatever. but I don't know. But it seems like pretty consistent with their sound. They always have this like sort of synthy kind of sandwich through the choruses of just heavy rock with just this consistent. You can hear it there. You see his miming playing individual notes, which, you know, I mean, guitar effects can be literally anything. There's synth effects that sound like a synthesizer. There's MIDI guitar stuff, which I doubt they're using. There's a whole bunch of different things that could be happening, but do they play with a keyboard player live is what I'm curious about. So let me know in the comments, because it seems to be a really key part of their sound, and it's odd that they don't have a keyboard player if that's the case, you know? So let's jump back a little bit. Really cool. It's just, again, just a solid song, right? Whether you know, with metalcore, a lot of what people appreciate is really complex sort of stuff, and I love that they've kept this pretty simple. But anyway, hang around after the break. I'll give you my full summary. Hey guys, this video is made possible by Enchroma. 1 in 6 guys and 1 in 200 women are colorblind, and if that happens to be you, there's something you can do about it. Click the link in the description, it'll take you to Enchroma's website where you can get a free eye test. And while you're there, maybe pick up some corrective lenses. They've got styles to suit everybody and a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you got really nothing to lose. And while you're there, use the code CHAOS in checkout to get 10% off. Tell them Primal Chaos sent you. Yeah, so like I said, I wanted something sort of rocky and punchy, and that's exactly what I was delivered here. It seems like, as far as technicality goes, it's not as chaotic as a lot of other metalcore stuff that I've sort of come across. And I think there's always room for that. I like a band that's willing to just get in there and just write a good song. I think Architects are probably at that point in their career where they don't feel like they need to prove anything as far as their ability and stuff goes. I think they just want to write songs that they want to listen to. That's kind of what this feels like. I really dug the video clip. I dig that sound I was talking about in the chorus, where they always sort of underpin it with that synthesizer kind of sound to fatten it up. That just works for me for whatever reason. Like, I noticed that, I think in Yellow Jacket, where Sam is singing with Spirit Box, they do a similar kind of thing as well. Like, it just seems to be a bit of a trademark. And I'm here for it. It just always sounds really sort of interesting and edgy, while sort of allowing the choruses to stand out from the verses and things like that, which is really cool. What is it about the UK that just breeds amazing rock voices? Like, that's the thing, again, that sort of stands out, is Sam just has that awesome sort of fry scream without sounding like he's putting anything on. It just sounds like that's just the sound that comes out when he sings, you know? And it's really exciting to me to hear. I really dig that. But that's kind of a tradition going back, you know, since like AC/DC kind of era, you know? I'm pretty sure... Yeah, Bonds... who's British? Either way, I'm losing perspective, right? But that sort of like rock sound, you know, like... I'm trying to think of examples that people outside of Australia would know, and it's really it's really killing me. They just have this amazing ability to sound gravelly, you know? And I don't know whether it's just hard life in the pub, drinking and smoking. Could be. I don't know. But either way, it just, whatever works, right? It works great. So, yeah, I thought it was kind of catchy. They're doing so much with kind of what appears to be like a less is more approach. Like that intro. Like, listen to the intro. It's super simple. Let's skip through all of the ephemera. Here we go. Listen to this guitar riff. It's literally the least he could do just for the intro here. Like, it's still a cool pattern and everything, but it's just consistency that gives way to a more complicated guitar riff. So basically what it all means is that this is a cool, simplistic sort of punk song, like with punk rock energy, and they've given it a simple punk rock punchy video clip, and they've kept it simple. You know, the breakdown sort of comes through, whereabouts is it? Somewhere around here.
But they never once said, follow you just on a high.
Which is kind of more like a call to action kind of.
Did you follow you just on a high?
Again, real simple guitar. Builds up. And then it's just back to like a variation of that initial intro riff, kind of, you know.
Is there something in your eye? Did you follow you just on a high? Everybody's so afraid they could die.
You can imagine this in front of a stadium, right? That's what I'm noticing. A lot of these metalcore bands, as they get older, they become better at writing stadium songs because that's what they do now. They play festivals and big shows, and even in a small venue with a packed house, this would kill, right? And it's the same thing I noticed with Parkway. It seems like they started out proving themselves by just being, you know, for a lot of their audience, better than everyone else at what they do. And then they gradually work their way up the ranks until eventually they're playing like Wacken and things like that in huge venues and huge stadiums. And it seems like their songwriting evolves to cater to those audiences to a degree where everything becomes a little bit more anthemic. It's more, you know, crowd workable, if that makes sense. And something like this it'll just have this broad mass appeal of just wanting to join in, you know, in that crowd environment. And having stuff like that where, if you notice, he's yelling stuff out, but there's always a hook. You can hear it with the gang vocals come in. Like, the last word of each line is pumped up.
Thank God we're alive. Is there something in your eye? Did you follow or you just on a high? Everybody's so afraid they could die.
Right?
But they never once said, thank God we're alive. We're young.
And there's a cool payoff too when you get to the end of it. You get a little bit of space, bring down the band a little bit, drums come back in, right about now I suppose. There you go. You know, it's all paint by numbers, but the reason bands do this is because it just works. People love to listen to this stuff. They love it when they're jumping along in the pit or whatever, and then thank God we're alive. You know, it's just this is the consummate metal anthem. It is what it is. I'm sure that there's going to be more material on this album that is more complicated and more experimental and a bit more proggy or whatever the case may be. But this is the anthem, and it's why it's kind of the single, you know. Anyway, that's about all I got to say on this one. If you feel like I brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel. Just buy me a coffee. I'll put a link in the description. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. And yeah, this was great. Let me know of what I should look at for some old school architects, right? Something that's a real crowd pleaser from kind of before this current era, or something that was like maybe the song that turned them around for you. Because I know that there was kind of a point in Architect's career where they were kind of chugging along and then all of a sudden, boom, they kind of exploded. So what's that about? That's what I'm kind of trying to get at. Let me know in the comments, and thanks again for sticking around, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.